We'll let everyone get settled and then we'll get started. Today is all about our latest releases for the last month. And then you guys can hear from my perspective as the head of product, like why we built them, what was the problem we were trying to solve for, and then also demo. So seeing how they work, where you can find all the new products, and we will be doing this webinar most likely every month, probably near the end of the month, so that everyone can stay up to date on what's been released. Many people don't know. Some people see the announcements that we send out, the emails, the in-app notifications, like just different things that we try to get on your radar. But there may be some power users in here that love our platform and are unaware of certain things that we've added. So we're going to be doing this most likely every month, just to update everybody on the new changes and answer any questions. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to begin sharing my screen, sharing a presentation, and then we'll get into the actual demo itself of all of the latest releases. So we've had three major releases for customer-facing products. Obviously, there's many projects that are released without really touching the customer and your experience. But the three main ones that we've released over the last couple of weeks were connectors, Ergo Advisor, and custom workflows. So these three core releases have been discussed in other webinars, but really what I want to do is kind of break each of them down and share some use cases for how people have been using them over the last month, but then also how we envision people using them in the future. So with that being said, the first one is connectors. The connectors solved a really huge problem, actually, and it's a simple product, but it actually unlocks SoterAI to be a lot more valuable to you guys on a day-to-day basis. And before I get into the whys of it, what connectors is this puzzle piece down here. That's all it is. Yeah, when you click on it, you'll see a list of all these platforms, but to be able to know where it is and what it is in the chat bar of SoterAI. If you have multiple workspaces that you are a part of, you only have to set up these connectors one time. So it is a connector at the individual level. So, as I get into each of the platforms and what data they can pull, you only have to set them up once. What we found was that so many people loved using SoterAI to analyze emails, PDFs, safety data, you name it. All these different platforms are like, hey, it'd be nice if you could connect to these platforms. And we're like, okay, let's go investigate what the options are for that. And what we built was these what's called connectors, where essentially the platform you want to connect to. So let's just use your email client. That could be Outlook, that could be Gmail, that could be, any of that. Has all these emails, has all this data that's living over there. And a lot of people are copy and pasting or downloading and then uploading into SoterAI. And it's a bad kind of user experience. And a better user experience is to just work out of SoterAI and say, hey, go find that email or go summarize my emails on this claim or go summarize my all the data that's in this email thread, stuff like that. And being able to automatically do that and have a tool that does it very, very quickly. So you don't have to just go back and forth between platforms and get this information. And it's not just a single platform play either. Like in one analysis, you may have data that lives in your email client, or you may have data that lives in SafetyCulture, or you may have data that lives in SharePoint or in OneDrive or Google Drive. And you need to coalesce all that information into a decision. So you're trying to make a decision for a client, or you're trying to make a safety decision at your office, and there's data that's spread out. Well, with connectors, you don't have to go to all those platforms to make the decision or get the data. You can do it all within SoterAI. So how does this work? So right now, there's a laundry list of different platforms that you can select from that we have already built connectors to. This is kind of our beta version of connectors. These were kind of the most requested platforms by our clients. And, this covers, from Microsoft Teams to SafetyCulture to OneDrive to Outlook to, Gmail, Slack, all of these really very prominent brands that we all use on a day-to-day basis, you can connect to. And it's simple from a standpoint of if you, let's say, I'm going to disconnect my Gmail client. If I wanted to connect to Gmail, it's as simple as clicking that button and another window will pop up where I will use the authorization sign in and it will just automatically do it. So it took me that long. It's the standard kind of authorization path that we take to sign into these apps in the first place. And so there's no tricky things, there's no technical, work that needs to get done. It's just a simple, click that connect button and then now it has access to all of those emails that I tell it to go get access to. And obviously, it's not reading through your entire email thread. It's not pulling any data that you don't give it access to. But to be able to perform, work, you know, you can look at some of these platforms and say, okay, maybe I can pull some data in here when I'm doing a hazard inspection and I also need to take some photos or some data or some documents from my email that my client sent me. Instead of having to download it all and organize it all, I'll just let SoterAI go and get that information. I just have to tell it, hey, go find Bob's last email and get that data. Stuff like that to make it a lot easier for you to use SoterAI and build the context for whatever workflow you're doing or whatever chat that you may be doing. Obviously, email is one thing, but you see SafetyCulture in there. SafetyCulture and other safety platforms are one of the most requested platforms to get the data from. And this is something that we're working partner by partner through of what's your safety platform? How can we help you get that data into SoterAI so you can perform analyses with AI on that data? And so if you don't see a platform that you would love, it's a simple request. Like, support at soteranalytics.com can be really quick to help us know which platform you want us to put into SoterAI so you can connect to it. SafetyCulture was the first one, so that's ready to go. A lot of people use that platform, but there are many, many other platforms that are available to us to be able to connect to. And really, we want to work with you guys. Right now, this was just a short list, but we imagine this being thousands of platforms just to cover the gambit of insurance and safety and risk management and underwriters. Like all these people that we service have different, SaaS products that they use. We want to make sure that everyone is covered here. So what are some ideas of what you could do? I had this historical example here that I did yesterday where I said, go find the latest emails you have access to and tell me what the contents are. And so it pulled the last, I think, 5 or so emails. And I said, okay, you found one from Alexi. All right, now go find every email from Alexi and summarize the top 5 things we talk about. Obviously, this isn't an incredibly useful thing. Like I don't think anyone's ever really going to be doing this. However, it shows you the breadth that it can go. This took a 21-step process. So it finds over 50 plus emails. Obviously, Alexi's our CTO. Me and him are emailing, every day, and there are more than 50. And so what it does is it goes in chunks, and it collected over a couple hundred emails that Alexi and I have discussed. And then it just summarized, hey, this is the kind of the cohort or the average of things that you guys talk about on a weekly basis in your email. And I'm sure that if I did this in Slack, where within Slack, me and him have more day-to-day conversations, this would even be more rich. So I could even double down and say, now go find everything in Slack that we talk about and summarize the contents, or you name the platform. And so being able to go get the breadth of data from another platform is really the core use case. It's not really meant for one, email, or it's not meant for one data point. It's really for that time where you've got to pull in 50, 20 different things. and you're looking at it like, man, I really do not want to copy and paste this. This is going to be a lot of work. Now you have the ability to just use the connectors. And it's as simple as just, saying, go find the latest email. Like I didn't have to prompt it in any which way. I just had to say, go to my email, and it knows which email client I've been connected to, and it will go get that data. So this can be applied in the general chat where you're just doing it here, just with any question and answer, or you can do it also within a workflow. So if you start a hazard inspection workflow and you're analyzing, different things, these connectors are still connected. So if I need to pull in some data after the fact, I can now bring in information, images, or whatever, what have you, documents that are sitting in my email client that I just don't want to have to download and bring into Soter. So this just a huge, huge unlock for productivity, but also what kind of information now can you do analysis on that you maybe thought were siloed off in another platform? What now can you bring in and really start to unlock some productivity there? So that's connectors. The next one is Ergo Advisor. This is this was a highly requested workflow, and the reason for it was we have the video ergonomic assessment workflow already, and this was that Stickman overlay. It's this one right here, this video ergonomic assessment. We have that workflow, and it felt to a lot of people like it was a roller coaster. Like I just got back from Disney, so all the roller coasters we ride, you get on, it takes you on the journey, and then you get off, and you're not in control at all. The Slinky Dog ride that I was on, there's a start and there's an end, and you have no control over where it goes. What we wanted for an ergonomic assessment and what our customers kept requesting was, I kind of want to take some side quests. I want to do other things than just what it's programmed to do. I want to drive it. And so the way that I position this workflow now is it's more like Tesla full self-driving where the car still is doing the driving. It's not like you're doing anything. The car is still in motion, but you get to direct where it goes, when it goes. You can intervene, you can make changes, you can adjust course, you can add more things in the middle of the analysis so that you're the one in control. After all, most people are the experts. The AI is trained to do a specific task. Like in the ergonomic assessment, it's trained to analyze a stickman overlay that measures angles. Like that's a task inside of an ergonomic assessment, but it's not the whole ergonomic assessment that you may want to do. What we wanted was give somebody an AI that has access to all of those tools and then let you guys decide where you want to go. So, with that being said, that's the Ergo Advisor workflow here. All the same privacy functions are still in place. So if you need to blur a face or if you need to blur the background or both, you still have all those privacy controls in place. So when you go on site and you're doing an ergonomic assessment, you can still protect the privacy of that individual. So an example of this might be, let me see if I can pull in a video here real quick, and we'll go from there. This one's good. So I'm going to upload this video and show you kind of what the steerability of this workflow can be and what kind of options you have once it processes this video. So with that being said, I think this is a couple minutes long video. What this workflow is trained to do is chunk each of these different screenshots. So now you can get screenshots in your reports as opposed to just the one video. We will see that here in just a second, where a lot of people are like, I like the REBA assessment, I like the RULA, but I need that screenshot, or I need the second where that highest risk portion was. Can it take screenshots? Can it reveal that to me? And so yeah, now you can. So it's now going to come back with like a plan of how to analyze that video. But at any moment, I could intervene and say, actually, I want to do a REBA rule assessment and then come back with products to recommend to improve this workstation. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Perform a REBA assessment and then recommend products to improve the ergonomic hazards that you discover in this worker's task. So something very mundane like that stops the agent from what it was doing. And now it's set on a new path of, okay, I'm going to perform a REBA assessment and then I'm going to recommend products. So at any point, I can make those changes or add things to what this agent is going to do. And in real time, you can see this agent's analysis happening where it's like, okay, ergonomic REBA analysis of the parts, like it's scanning the full task video. It will tell you what it's doing and why it's doing it. And if at any point you're like, oh, I don't know why it's doing that, you can stop it. You can intervene. You're in control. And this is the thing that so many people that are ergonomics experts were asking for was when I'm in the middle of doing your ergonomic assessment, I want to change some things. I want to add some things, and every single tool out there that are available, all the other platforms, including your own, don't allow me to do that. So we wanted to build a very steerable, drivable ergonomic assessment. And so this will take some time, but you can even see the action list of what it's going to do here as well. We might be able to come back to it once it's done, but typically these types of videos, when you got about a minute, you're gonna let it analyze for about 3 to 5 minutes so that it can take its time. But these are getting much faster. Actually, it's already starting to generate the overlays there as well. So those overlays that everyone loves with the green, yellow, red, those are still present. Nothing's being taken away, from the functionality. It just gives you a bit more flexibility there. So that's the ergonomic advisor. And that tool really could be, a lot more powerful. And what we've seen is most people are switching off of the old video ergonomic assessment and starting this one. And we're seeing how people are using it. It's only been out for a couple of weeks now, and people are really starting to say, okay, I'm going to build almost like my own, ergonomic assessment using this Ergo Advisor. And so what the next release that we have that also ties into this ability to control, what you're building is custom workflows. I'm going to go back and see if this thing is done yet. No, it's still thinking, but custom workflows tie in really deeply with the why to why we built the ergonomic assessment. The custom workflows, so many people were saying, I want to be able to be in control. I wish AI could do this. And your workflows are great. I love all of them, but I want to do other things. I want to build something myself. I'm the expert. I want to build it. And the hard part is that these people that were, safety experts or risk experts weren't AI experts. And so it was really difficult to because they had to transition all that business logic and all of the different things that you have to know for your job into AI logic. And that was a gap we needed to solve for. So what we built was custom workflows to be able to bridge that gap. I'm going to go over here and you'll see this on the workflows page. It'll say create a workflow. And just like all of these workflows are powered by Soter, you get the same underlying model that is this, very intelligent, has all the tools that you need. But now when you create a workflow, you just have to describe what the workflow is. You just have to describe the problem that you're trying to solve. And it's as simple as that. It's in simple English. And what you're going to see pull up here is a form that fills in all these details. Now, you could manually go in and type like, I want to build an ergonomic advisor workflow, and here's the description. Or you can come over here and describe it either by text or by voice. You could say, I'm just going to talk for, 2 minutes about the job I want it to do, all the information I want it to pull in from the web, or I'm going to upload some files. Let's say you have some NFPA documents that you've paid for, and you're like, I really want to create a hazard inspection workflow that only uses NFPA. Like these PDFs that I have, I want to use them. You could do that and just say in the chat, like, I want to create an NFPA powered hazard inspection workflow and find all hazards against all of these regulations for NFPA that I've uploaded. And what will happen, and actually, let's do that. I don't have those documents ready, but let's say I want to create a powerful NFPA hazard inspection workflow where I upload a photo and you tell me where all the issues are according to those regulations. Something like that. And very basic, but what it's going to do is actually create all of the instructions at an AI level that are required for this workflow to work. So it's not going to just take this, like you may think, oh, I could just prompt this. That's not that complex. It's going to expand all of the different tools that you need to go in and all the steps. So it's got, 5 different steps that it created off of these one instructions that you can go in and audit and see, okay, yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. Okay, we're definitely gonna want to identify for this. We're gonna want to cite the source, all of those different things that are critical for doing an NFPA. It kind of can just build the instruction logic for you. And then all of the infrastructure layer that we've built on the back end just comes out of the box. You don't even have to worry about it. You just have to worry about the logic on the front end. So all of the names, the description, the details, like all of this information you didn't have to do. You just had to know, I've got a problem and I want to solve it with SoterAI's custom workflows. And then you just simply describe it. So that's custom workflows. Obviously, this is one example, but it could be, like I said earlier, with connectors, you can connect any data source into these custom workflows and say, man, I want it to periodically check my email and see if there's any updates on this specific claim or if there's any specific updates from my client on this or what have you. You can have these things run for you on whatever logic or tasks that you have. And so that's really the really exciting things. And I'm going to quickly go back just to show you this just got finished on the ergonomic assessment. But you've got a REBA 11, you've got the photo evidence of the action within that video, within that minute-long video. So this workflow is really, really powerful. You're getting all of the different things there as well. With that being said, that's our update. Those are the three kind of updates for the week. If there are any questions, I do have to a hard out here in just a couple of minutes. But if there are any questions, feel free to put them into the chat. We would love to see what you guys think. Obviously, you can email me, mike.goetsch@soteranalytics.com. But those are the three main ones. And then in a month from now, we will be doing another one where there's actually going to be a massive release coming out this month. So you all will be privy to it, in the platform, but we'll do another one where we'll have a couple of big updates for you guys as well. So that's our update. That's our webinar update for the month. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Nothing too out of the ordinary. You know, these are kind of workflows that customers have been asking for, and this is what we try to do is every month there should be 2 to 5 updates within our platform. No longer are the days where you have to wait 6 months for new products to get released. You got 3 this month, and a lot of them are really, really powerful ones. So really excited. Hope you guys use it. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free, email me, and then we will go from there. Thank you guys for your time today.